Yo, yo, yo. What is up, guys? Nick Nakai here. Let's Drift Media. Thank you for coming back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, please subscribe. So today's episode, we are going to be doing an install kind of video slash end review at the end of the video of a new dash cam setup that was provided for us from 70My Dashcam. You can see this is what we received. This is the 70My Dashcam 4K AA10 light set. What's really cool about this one is you get a front camera and a rear camera. So the front camera films in 4K, which is super nice because that's what you want to see. But it's nice to at least have a little bit of coverage in the back, even though it's 1080. Normal retail price on this is about 150 bucks, but you can get on sale on Amazon. I'll leave the link down below for about 90 bucks. This is pretty much what you get out of the kit for less than 100 bucks, which is a really good deal in my opinion. I just removed my old dash cam because it only had the front and it didn't have nearly as many features as this one. Pretty much what we got, two anti-static screens for both front and rear. You'll stick those on your windshield and install the camera in case you got window tint, you got to remove it, or you don't have window tint, you can still remove it. If you install window tint, you can put it back on, which is really nice. You get the front camera, of course, with the mount and the sticky. Rear camera with the sticky. Wire harness just plugs directly into the front camera and goes to a cigarette lighter, USB. Super easy install. Anyone can do it. This is the harness for the rear camera to connect it to the front camera. Includes some sticky mounts in case you need to hide some wire harnesses. Little pop tool. We got our own. Instruction manual. Even comes with a 64 gig SD card, micro SD card. We're going to use the one we had in the previous setup. I think it's a 256, just to hold a little bit more memory. And a UV polarized filter. This is supposed to give you a clearer view of what you're looking at. So this setup right here, basically install it, plug and play, and you have front and rear dash cam. Collision detection. If you do get in an accident and the G-force sensor goes off, it'll automatically go back in time to record a couple minutes before the accident happened, as well as going forward. Now coming over here to the 4G kit, this is a really cool feature. I feel like it separates it from a lot of different cameras, at least that I've looked into. Has a 4G kit, comes with an SD card. It's kind of like a service. You can use the free version, which includes a lot. Basically what it allows you is to have 24/7 parking surveillance. It'll record a time lapse 24/7 while you have the vehicle parked. If you want to live stream it directly from your phone, you can kind of tap into it just like a Ring camera. It has motion detection, so while you're parked somewhere at the mall, underground parking lot, anyone walks by your car, it'll immediately start recording and you can review the footage, and it'll also send you alerts. So yeah, that's basically the rundown of what you get. Whether you want the 4G or not, it's a personal option. It is not included with the regular kit under 100 bucks, but the 4G kit I believe goes for like 60 bucks or so. So really not that bad. Even if you bought both, 150, 160 bucks is not that bad for a 4K dash cam. Alright, so we are in the vehicle now. This is pretty much how you set it up if you're not running the 4G kit. You're just going to run it to your cigarette lighter. So you can see we got the camera back there. And it doesn't matter which way you put it. If you put it upside down, like the camera's sticking out to the other side, you can flip it in the app. So we got that wire. I just mocked it down here. I'm not going to really show you guys exactly how to do it on my car because if you don't have a Lexus CT, it's going to be a little different for every car, but pretty much any car, you're just going to run it up inside the headliner, either on the driver's side or the passenger side, kind of tuck it in to meet your camera. So the back side I got stuck on. Don't forget your anti-static tape film, like I did on the back, like I did on the first install as well, but that's all right. I put it on the front windshield at least. You can kind of see it up there. I decided to put it right behind the mirror because when I'm driving, you really can't see the camera at all. So I would recommend that unless you do want to have it somewhere where you can see it, but I kind of see it as a distraction and unnecessary. So yeah, we got the back camera running to the upper USB port, USB-C, and the power source is running from the bottom USB-C on the front camera, and that one is running directly to your USB to cigarette lighter adapter. So that's pretty much the install if you aren't running the 4G kit. So that's the standard plug and play version. I feel like most people have just installing a dash cam. Like I said, very straightforward, tuck the wires. We'll go ahead and do that in a little bit. But if you do have the 4G kit, really the only difference is you got to insert that SIM card that came with the device. And you have this wire harness. You have one wire, it's going to go to ground. You have the yellow wire, going to be for accessory. So basically the yellow one, you want it plugged into a wire that's going to see 12 volts whenever you turn the vehicle on, because what that's going to do is anytime you turn your car on, the dash cam is going to turn on and start recording. This red one, however, needs to go to a constant 12 volt battery supply. So you can run this wire directly to your battery if you wanted to go through all that, or you can find a 12 volt output source in your fuse box somewhere in your vehicle that's going to constantly put out 12 volts even when the vehicle is off, aka a constant hot wire. If you are unfamiliar with automotive electrical, I'd recommend getting this portion installed by a professional or someone who at least knows what they're doing. But if you do want to learn, make sure you just grab a voltmeter and start looking up some videos on how to check voltage so you can properly install this on your vehicle. But once you get those wired up, you're going to go ahead and grab this USB-C to USB-C. It's going to plug into this box, which you can mount wherever you like. You can put it under the dash somewhere hidden. It does not need to be out in the middle. And this power wire will go to replace this wire that goes to your cigarette lighter. So one benefit of this is you don't have to have a cigarette lighter space taken up by your dash cam. Alright, well, we got it all wired up now, hardwired to the vehicle, tucked the wire harness, ran it down the A-pillar. I had pulled out my glove box, ran it behind there, but just wanted to show you real quick how I hardwired it up. I use these little T-fitting connectors that just kind of bite onto a wire, and you could plug a harness right into there. So I went ahead and put the 12 volt accessory wire right to the cigarette lighter, and then the 12 volt constant hot, add another wire coming off this harness in the shift module to constantly provide power to it. And then yeah, that harness just ran to that little box with the SIM card. I went ahead and stuck it on behind the glove box. You can just run the harness to a fuse box, but the thing is the wire that comes off the camera is only so long, really reached about to like here. So I guess you could put it over here if you want to go over here and tap into the fuse box, but I don't have any of those cool fuses where you can just put one in and install a wire on it. So that's why I decided to go this way, but you are free to do it however you would like. But this is pretty much my setup. And then obviously we got an easy ground right there. So let's go ahead and fire it up. So once you get it all installed, you can see this is what the app looks like. You can go to device album if you want to just view footage that the camera's recorded. Go to all videos, emergency video, parking surveillance, time lapse, photos if you decide to click photos. This is all the front camera. You can see it's got quite a bit of footage. I set it to film every 1 minute or break the film every 1 minute. And then the timestamps for the front match the rear if you had to go back in there. That's that. You got all that. At the top right corner, you can see that's connected to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. That's because I'm connected to the camera right now. And the 4G is green. So if I was not in the car, I can hit real-time view with the 4G hardware kit. And you can live view the data. Pretty much like a Ring camera. It's really cool. That's the rear. And that's the front. So yeah, that's pretty much all the settings for this. You can go in there, tailor it to how you like it. It's very simple, very user-friendly. It's what I like about this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the live footage of stuff it's captured on the road so you guys can see the quality of the camera. Oh, this is driving on the street. This is the front-facing 4K camera. You can see the clarity is pretty good. You can see this guy's license plate light right here. Street signs. Pretty good clarity from the front-facing camera. It is shooting in 4K, so it's got a lot better resolution than the rear, as well as this is daytime and I have no front window tint. The windshield is a little bit dirty. You can kind of see some smudges. This is the rear facing camera, that same spot I was just filming at from the front. It's not as great, it is only in 1080, but during the daytime I feel like it does plenty good for what you need it for. I also have 5% limo tint on the rear back glass, so it does affect it a lot at night, as you'll see in a little bit. This is another front facing camera angle, me opening a fence. Like how it tells you your speed, the time, and the date stamp, as well as your GPS coordinates. This is the rear facing camera again. It's about like 3 p.m. It's a little cloudy day, but still going through that 5% tint. Looks very good when you have daylight out. This is the front-facing camera at night. You can see it's a pretty well-lit freeway on-ramp. A lot of vehicle lighting. Not too bad. It's a little bit hard to see license plates at night unless you're pretty close up to them. But for the most part, you can still see a lot of what it's recording, as you guys can see in this video. This is a little bit lower light street. You can tell it's a little bit not as good quality. With the glare, I think it's because my windshield's a little bit dirty. It could have been a little clearer. You can see the stains right there, but you can still make out license plates. You can see on this truck, once you get close enough, pretty clear image of the plate as well as street signs. But the headlights coming at you at night really make the quality a little bit not good. This is the rear facing camera at night, and right here you can really tell having the 5% tint on the back windshield is not that great for image quality. I guess it will still do the job. If you got rear-ended or something, you would obviously see the car coming, but you can't really see much at night coming out of the back facing camera with limo tint. This was the parking surveillance mode. We just closed the door after putting some tools in my car and it immediately started recording. It's kind of cool. I wish it recorded a couple seconds before, but at least it starts recording immediately once it senses motion in your vehicle when it's not on. And this is the rear cam with audio.
I'll probably stop at the gas station.
Okay. And this is the time-lapse feature. You can see we're here in a Home Depot parking lot, and it pretty much records 24/7. It's pretty nice, front and rear. This is the front camera. And I found with the 256 gigabyte SD card, I can get about 3 to 4 days worth of footage and time lapse before it starts deleting the previous footage. So not too bad. This was a cool time lapse of the sun going down overnight and the sun coming up at 3000% speed right here. So it is pretty nice to have 24/7 coverage. Even if it's a time lapse, at least you still have some video of what happened around your vehicle. So yeah, that pretty much sums up this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys are interested, feel free to click the link down below to check out further details of the product. But honestly, really nice. I like having it behind the mirror because I really have forgotten that I even have it. And the rear view camera is really nice. Just in case anything ever happens, you have video proof of what exactly happened in that situation. And for the price, I don't think you can beat it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!